Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the show. My name is Jack Chow. I'm on East West Show with G&E TV. For years, I enjoyed this position because it's a opportunity. It's a privilege to touch everything, including our community. Of course, the community first. And there is a program even called the Community First. So we love our community. It's our own neighborhood. It's our own backyard. So that is the philosophy. That said, I would like to introduce a person who is well known to you already, but the part of her new appointment has never been announced. This is the first time. I'm so proud to be privileged to make the announcement. Here is the newly appointed, as new as Tuesday. Newly appointed Commissioner of City of West Covina of Community Service. Lou Arredondo.
Thank you, Jack.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And moreover, a week ago, she steps in to take oath to be elected as the Assistant Governor of the 5300 District of Rotary International.
Right. Thank you.
All right. I give you both thumbs up on these two positions.
Thank you very much.
I know you're a lady of lots of energy, lots of big heart with a big heart, and your schedule is even busier than mine. But community service is a big word. How do you interpret the term of community service?
Well, I think one of the things that makes community service so broad-reaching is the impact that it has. So it's looking at the citizens, the youth, the seniors, the business owners, the transportation, the community as a whole, and how do we bring that community together and ensure that our youth are getting the messages they need in order to grow and be mentored properly and do the right things in life to move that community forward. And you talked in your introduction about community first, and that's really what the basis of my upbringing was. Everything should be based on the community first, and then the self will be taken care of. So if you, instead of being selfish, to be selfless.
There's a big difference between the selfish and the selfless. In the United States, under the guidance of freedom and liberty and the justice of all, we seem to be kind of enjoying our freedom part too much. Not too much, very much. Yet, on the other hand, there's still somebody else to consider about. Lots of people, even researchers who study American culture, they call it a self-centered culture. Everybody thinks about self, which is not bad, If everybody thinks about itself, everybody try not to break the laws, there won't be lawbreakers, right? Of course, from the other end of the angle to look at that, it's still not a bad thing. Well, if you do it kind of like you have a choice to do it actively, right, and inactively. Of course, the active part is important, right? Okay, try to help others, try to think of others, try to be selfless rather than selfish. That is really the key point. So, as the new commissioner, just appointed a week ago, less than a week ago, the last Tuesday, her first philosophy is to be selfless, not selfish, right?
Correct.
So starting from that point on, you have any plan or anything like mapped in your heart, in your mind?
I do. I think that this afternoon I actually will be sitting down at City Hall and talking about the position, talking about my ideas and how to move forward in that area. There are 7 other commissioners that sit on the commission with me.
I see.
So there'll be a lot that I glean from them and learn from them in terms of the historical value of the commission. But what I would like to see is that we create a larger voice for the community, as opposed to 8 individuals that have a reach or a touch independently, coming together and broadening that reach. Maybe more focus groups or town hall meetings.
Sure.
You know that I come from a small town, and it wasn't uncommon to have
but the big
town hall meetings.
But the big tradition, right?
So with the seniors, to bring them together and talk to them. What do the seniors need? What is it that they believe that they want and need in this community? It's I can speak better for them if I know firsthand from them.
Of course, yeah.
That does not translate into I can do everything on your to-do list or your bucket list and check them off. But it means that we're cognizant, we're aware. And how do those needs fit with the constraints and the goals of the city as a whole and its growth and expansion? And working with the community base, working with the media. Your show last week has been covering the 5, and that's a big issue.
The 5, that's a big issue, yes.
Hopefully we'll get to talk about that a little bit today.
Yeah, sure.
But that's a big issue. We have to make sure that our media is responsible. They have a huge responsibility, and that's part of the community. That's part of how we're viewed globally.
I'm a matter of fact so glad you mentioned the 5, you mentioned Bob Beckel, that issue. To drag that into our discussion today, I would say that's exactly fit the situation.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You're talking about a community. In the community, you have people. When you talk about people, you talk about all kinds of people, not only different by sex, by age, by ethnic group, by culture, by color, by face, by everything, right? You're talking about a diversified pot of all kinds.
Absolutely.
Right? So what's your take as versus the later we'll discuss. We'll try to analyze what's in the mind of Bob Beckel, but in your mind, how do you handle the whole pot?
Well, you know, it's interesting that you asked that. I think that it does tie very closely to what we're trying to do as a local community, because that community spreads, like you say. It starts in West Covina, but then it grows to the San Gabriel Valley, and then it grows to the region, and then it grows to the world.
Exactly.
So when you
by the way, I may make a little insertion here. You're talking about one community, right? If you take the society as a body, one community is a cell. Right? One cell here, one cell there, one cell here, one cell there, and then there's all cells. If the cells are healthy, the body is healthy.
Right.
A cell's not healthy,
the body's not healthy.
The body is not healthy. Sometimes people die. Why die? Because one cell has gone wrong.
Right.
And then it kind of disperses the germ, the virus, or the whatever, to the neighboring cells, and then a portion is wrong. And then it goes larger and larger and larger. Oh, of course. It all depends on how you take your own take about the diversified community, right? So what's your take about
it? Well, I think where he went wrong, and one of his biggest mistakes that I think he should be responsible about. I think the studio should be responsible for it. And it wasn't just a broad statement that was made, it's the implications of that statement. He made a statement without also identifying the factors or the basis for that statement. And is it appropriate? You get into 2 arguments. One, his show is highly controversial as it is, and is that really the programming we want? Is that the programming we want our people to see, our youth to see? That's not productive programming. That's horrible programming, and it's no wonder.
Nor does it fit the purpose of Fox, I believe.
Well, and it also hurts us internationally because if this is the broadcasts that are aired, these are the messages by which the rest of the world will judge us. And
Exactly.
I don't want to be
Exactly.
seen as that person that he's representing, because that is not the person I am.
Of
So
course.
he falsely represents me as an American.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly. You're
that's
right. You're right.
what angers me. I can have one bad person,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
a cancer, you cut it out.
Yeah.
So I understand the statements of others saying, let's have him retire, have him go away. These are not the messages we want to project.
Yeah, the other day at my show, I was talking to Ken Hemming,
Right?
the book writer, right? He says that everybody in the society has to be responsible about what they do, what they say. In other words, the responsibility is evenly spread among all people in the society. However, media people has more responsibilities, considering the fact that they are the one that faces the camera all the time. Their voices are heard first and are heard by the most people. Within a blink of eyes, with a blink of a second, a message can be delivered, right? So there are more responsibility to talk about.
And that's definitely the first issue. The second issue, you touched on it right now, is what do we do with it? What is that actual impact? And I look at it from the standpoint of when I was being reared, I became a productive member of society, giving back to the society, thinking about the community first, because of the way my parents raised me. When individuals were discriminatory or racist, I was quickly educated that this is wrong, and they were quickly put aside. And that reinforced that message in me. So growing up, I learned right from wrong. If we don't put a stop to his rants and his raves because of the freedom of speech, then what society are we saying we want to build? Because he has 3 to 10 minutes, an hour-long show. That's a lot of time to influence
There's a lot of time to
the public.
To influence the public.
And is that really the best? I think if you asked the
also,
general public, they wouldn't agree.
Of
They would
course,
ask for
of
him
course,
to
of
resign
course.
because
And also, it's an effort that's divided into two parts. One part is that how we consider ourselves, how we govern ourselves, and the part two is the media has taken a bigger responsibility in how to promote the positive energy. That's it.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Joining me today is my good friend, Luann Arredondo, the newly appointed Community Service Commissioner of the city of West Covina. And also, about a week ago, she steps in and swore in to be the assistant governor of the 5300 district of Rotary International, big organization, the biggest, by the way.
Right.
Okay, now, let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we still find out, without getting angry, without getting too much upset, just to be sober-mindedly going into the matter, find out what is deadly wrong. Stay with us.